All right, well, welcome everybody to the March 7th, 2023 Board of Directors meeting for Delta Club. We'll get started. I know I wouldn't think this would be an issue, but since we said we'd kind of look at it month by month for a little bit, we finally got, I think, a process figured out to get the meeting recordings on YouTube. And so if that, it seems like it's going to work okay. Will that, getting feedback somewhere, it seems like that's going to work okay. So now that we've got that going and everything with login is set for Steve, I've been sharing them to Facebook, and then I think I sent something to you, Mike, right? About the YouTube link, or was that something else I sent?
Yeah. No,
okay.
You sent it to me. You asked me to put it in like a permanent attachment under announcements.
Yeah. And so that way we've got something in Sparks that has a continuous link of where they can go for a recording. So is there any objection to us continuing to meet in person only and then recording them and just putting their recordings on YouTube? Okay.
Sounds good.
Have we heard any feedback one way or the other on that, I guess?
I haven't. Have y'all? I mean, well, I guess I've heard some feedback from people who are excited that we're back in person, but I've not heard any complaints from not having it hybrid. But it may be because they're not there in person to complain, and I'm sure there's going to be people who aren't happy with it, or you know, for different reasons may not be able to attend in person right now.
Right. I'm okay with continuing on in person.
Okay. All right. Since this is a big deal, and we talked about it last time, MailChimp, the Gmail. Joe, if you want to talk a minute on how it went since you handled it, what your thoughts on it was. Does that work for us to continue that?
I had no problem sending it out, and you know, I'll be glad to do it. All I do is put $399 on Delta Club and the balance on my email and send it out. I haven't heard anybody complain, and I haven't gotten that many rejects. There's a couple that I've gotten rejected. 2 of them were good emails, but just didn't go through for some reason. And I've got some corrected and given them to Mike and Paul. I'll be happy to continue doing it that way. So
yeah, I mean, I liked it because it did not come into my spam. You know, all the MailChimp comes into my spam, and I've got to go looking for it. Whereas this came, you know, really right into my inbox, and it was very easy to find because it's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and then we did. I think most everybody here was at the meeting, but we did ask feedback at the meeting, and there were quite a few hands that went up, if not just about everybody, that they got the email with no issues,
right? And
it did not go to spam. So it might be. I mean, Joe, if that works for you, it seems like it went well. And so I guess as we add new emails with members,
I've got to have notice of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul, Mike, and I need to. I'd like Mike to keep a backup list for me.
Yep, I can do that.
I will add you to update you as well.
Yeah.
What was that? I'm sorry.
You know,
I'll send it to Paul, ahead, Paul, too, and that way.
Usually, what happens is, you know, the secretary would update the email lists to new, you know, adding new members, and I would always go into MailChimp prior to sending out the monthly sparks, I would add the new members in and then send it out.
I just get,
So
I
think-
need to get the new members or changed email addresses when people have
Right.
notified that there's a change.
Yeah.
No problem from my end.
Good deal.
Also, this gives us the opportunity to be able to send out, multiple emails during the month.
Yes, absolutely.
With Free Fest coming up and I'm getting the inventory of equipment to where I'm planning, I want to send out the equipment. I'll send it out in a separate listing.
Right.
To show that we've got it available and let them know we're going to have it at free, most of it at Free Fest. If they want it, let me know. And we can discuss it before it gets on the table.
Sounds good. Well, good.
I'm going to put a few things on the NAQCC, the QRP stuff on their list again, as I'm sending it out tonight to them. I inventoried the equipment today at Steve's father's house.
So do we have any idea of like how much equipment we have left?
A bunch.
Bunch, okay. And will most of that be at the, you said most of that be at the Free Fest?
Well, it'll be in tubs. Whether it gets put on the table or not depends on how fast the stuff goes off the table
Okay,
or off the two tables.
yeah.
All right. Anything else on MailChimp, Gmail for now? Okay. We talked about this last month. Jim, do you have the 2022 budget numbers?
I sure do. Let me go ahead and share that. Oh, if you can.
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
You got
Okay.
it now.
All right. Okay. All right. So can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Good. All right. So I went back and put in the numbers each month as to what we took in and what we spent. And so the numbers here under the actual 2022 are the actual numbers that were published in Sparks, and so that everything looks like it matches up here. So we a lot of the things are fairly close. Like our membership, we took in $1,890, and we figured we'd take in about $2,000. But we did take in a lot more in estate sales due to the Karen Chancellor's estate sales. And that also includes, like this number here, this 1221 in August, that includes some of the sales that were done at Huntsville, which I'm assuming that they would be lumped in there with estate sales. Would that be correct? Correct assumption?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So didn't have any gear listed as consignment on anything that I have. Advertisement at 0, club patches 0, but we did take in just over $10,000. We'll see that there are some numbers here in January of this year, and those reflect some like this was like a late deposit for applications that came in December but didn't get deposited until after the first of the year. I had a reimbursement here for food in December, in January for the December meeting. The club liability insurance that should have been paid last year, or actually it was paid last year. It just came out this year. And this check cleared late as well for the for Sarah. But as you can see, the rest of the numbers are fairly in line. You know, post office box was a little bit more expensive than we had predicted, but that, you know, each year it goes up a little bit. Same for equipment insurance. I do have this category here for technology. I don't think, you know, I had to go back and look and see what was published, but I don't think that this technology line was included in our published budget, but good to see what we're actually paying for that. I do think that our domain is coming up for renewal. And if I remember correctly, that was something that Steve Frazier had taken care of last time. I will have to go back and find that because it was done for a couple of years. It was done before I started, so I think it's coming up fairly quickly.
I think in June, but I'm not positive.
Okay, all right. Just as long as I can still type in deltaclub.org and get to the website.
Yep.
I don't want that to suddenly stop working. So I'll make sure I stay on top of that. Field day numbers. You know, we paid $456.44, but then Neshoba reimbursed us $129.75, and then over here Mara reimbursed us $129.75. So here's our share of it, $196.94, which I think included some items that we kind of bought back for use at our club meetings. Discretionary fund. I didn't break this out. This was a Joe, this is actually a check to you for $300 or just over $300, and that included you know, shipping that you incurred for some of the sales, VE supplies, and then the cost of the Hamfest tables. I could break that out further, and because I think like the VE supplies probably go under training, this line here. And I can,
Well, it could go under estate sales with all the spreadsheets I print out.
okay.
With it on Zoom, I don't do a lot of printing for training.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
about VE, you know, like printing out test booklets or any of that kind of stuff.
Mhm. Well, I
Is that
have
something you do?
printed out some test booklets. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I just because I wrote one check to
Yeah.
you for all of that
Yeah.
and took in a, you know, a hand or a stack of receipts. I just lumped it all together
Lumped it together, yeah.
under discretionary. For the Huntsville Hamfest, we did, you know, we came pretty close to what we had budgeted for what our members paid to go on the bus. And then down here, we were fairly close to what we paid to the bus company and so forth. So Free Fest donations last year was $200. We did increase that to $250. And which brings me to a question I have is, Joe, do I need to send a check to you for that? Do I need to get you or do I need to
Stop
get
right there.
somebody? Yeah.
I talked to John and he's sending it gratis to us.
Wow. Very
He
nice.
says he's going to send, he's sending it to us.
Okay.
So, as well as that other door prize, the voltage amp meter, 12 volt voltage amp meter.
Okay.
It's a door for the door prize.
Okay. I know I'm jumping around here, but repeater system upgrades, we didn't come anywhere near what we predicted. So
That line looks really good, Barry.
Give me a chance.
Roll it over. Are these rollover dollars?
Under memberships, I did include a $30 ARRL club commission here in October, and in November there was a $5 one. I think that was Mary Jean's. And what else do we have here? Annual GoDaddy, annual Zoom subscription, and those are the only ones I have notes on. So, any questions about that, or is that what everybody was looking to see?
Yep,
Okay.
we're in line pretty much then.
Yep. Yeah, we are. Not too bad. Should we be concerned about the fact that we've taken in twice as much as we've spent?
No,
I was just concerned as a nonprofit. I didn't know if we needed to come closer to spending as much as we take in.
Barry can spend a lot of money in real short amount of time. So
Okay.
best to have a cushion because we don't know what might happen in Barry's cup of tea.
Yeah. And the cost of soda has skyrocketed. So my Diet Dr. Pepper is going to be a premium, I'm sure.
Yeah, the hams get expensive every year.
Yeah.
Jim, you say we've taken in twice as much as our expenses?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at this total here, this 10,000, now more than half of that is Karen Chancellor estate sale.
Yeah, but it's like one time only.
Right. Right.
It's dwindling some quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that this will drop, but as compared to what our expenses were of 5,000. That's why I was just bringing that to everybody's attention. I didn't know if that was of any concern.
Those numbers don't seem to add up to $10,000.
Let me see.
It's only in about a $5,000 range.
Is Excel lying to me?
No, it's right.
Oh, I think that's right.
Yeah, your formula looks right.
Yeah.
You're showing estate sales of 5465. I thought it was 465.
No, 5465.
No, 5465.
Counts for over half of it.
Yeah, which is
You got
all
almost $2,000 in membership. You got 2,300 for Huntsville.
Estate sales,
Donations. Yeah, that adds up.
Yeah.
700, 19, 2,000, 4,000, 5,000. Yep. Okay. Yeah. I don't wish anything. I tell you, Karen's was an anomaly in
right.
that she had new equipment, a lot of new good equipment that we're still able to sell some, get it into the right. That NAQCC site is pretty good.
Okay. Very good.
And we'll see what Free Fest does.
Yeah.
And then we'll have Huntsville again, but we're not getting a whole lot, there's not, let's hope that we don't have a whole lot of people dying off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and like they said earlier, I mean, it was, I don't know, what was it, 4 years ago or so that, I mean, the repeater upgrades were what, like $3 or $5 grand or more? Barry, is that right?
It was about 5,000 with the antenna and the work on
the climbers.
Yeah, we almost had to do it again this last year, but all of a sudden the repeater decided to straighten up. So still don't know why, 100%. I've got my ideas, but I was already lining the climbers up.
Okay.
I mean, the climber is what, $2,500 a pop?
At a minimum.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm not familiar with the technicalities of what we have to do as far as this with what you're saying, but I would think surely, like in our situation, that you know, if we're able to justify why we want a cushion there, because, you know, in some years we may take a loss, and others, you know, we may add that in. So I don't know if we, you know, maybe look at it over several years, and if it seems like it's way too much over like 4 or 5, then we could look at adjusting something. But I don't know. But it looks good though.
I was just trying to give you a reason to spend some money. Like, you know,
It's a good problem to have.
you know, if you're still looking at a
Yeah.
at a hotspot or some new, you know, equipment or what have you. So
Don't
All right.
test me.
all right.
Good
Okay.
to know.
I think we need a WinLink gateway.
Okay.
That's just a computer. That's a Raspberry Pi.
That was pretty expensive right now. Well,
Yeah,
not really,
actually
but
they are.
They're
like
just
doubled or
overpriced
tripled
right
in
now.
price.
Yeah. Yeah. If you
I
can
was
find
shocked
one.
when I looked at one recently.
Yeah, if you can find one.
All right. Well, thank you, Jim, for filling us in on that. Does anybody have any other questions or discussion about it?
Nope. Thank you,
Okay.
Jim, for
right.
working on it.
Oh, no problem.
One thing, well, did you revise your financial report?
No, I did not. Did you see my last message to you about the?
Yeah, you found the email.
Right, but that's that $35.20 doesn't show up on the statement because it looks like it might have been
It was buried in
deposited.
that $157, I think.
Well, here, let me, you know what, let me share again.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I just go right on into the review of that, or do you want to?
I mean, we're on it, so we can go on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay. All right, so this is our statement for February. And Joe, you had sent me 2 emails, one that had 2 deposits on it. And that's the 121.45 and the 25.20. Yeah, let's see if I can pull this up. Okay. I'm sorry, 35.20. And then I did find the third deposit, the 25.20. Okay, so the 25.20, notice this went to account 4140 here. And then the 121.45 went to account 4140. But the missing deposit of 35.20, it looks like it might have gone to a different account number, a 108.
Yeah, it does. Okay, you want me to go to, I'll go to Union Planners and check it out.
Okay, what's Union Planners?
Regions.
Regions.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Back in the day, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I got the
Before my time,
receipts,
right.
so
Okay. Yeah, so I think that it somehow got sent to a different account. The woman that I spoke to at Regions today, she had no clue as to what was going on. She was able to tell me, you know, because I was thinking that this 35.20 would, when it showed up on the statement as 25.20, I thought that they just made a mistake, and you know, because it was only off by 1 digit, not realizing that I had missed a email from Joe with the deposit of 25.20 that went to my spam. So I found that, moved it to my inbox, and it's now
Okay.
Oops.
What might have happened is when he keyed it in, he keyed in $35 only and not 35.20. And I made him go back and correct it. So that might have been what happened on this screw up, but I will go
Okay.
tomorrow, take my receipts and get it cleared.
Okay. All right, so. Yeah, so I've left this 35.20 off of our report because I don't have a statement to correlate that to. So.
Yeah.
Let me go back to my treasurer's report. Okay. So for the month of February, we took in, well, I deposited $40. This is for two, oh, I have it down here. This is for 2 memberships that we voted on at our last board meeting, but I deposited the money late because those membership applications came in after the first of the month. But they again were, or like must have been sitting in the wrong PO box or something, because they were dated early in December. So I didn't want those folks to have to wait another month for us to vote on them. So we did vote on
what
those 2.
members do you remember?
Steve Romani and Michael
Andrew
Marson.
Dandridge? Oh, okay.
No.
Never mind.
No.
Okay.
So, okay, so that $40 is for those 2 members. Then here are the deposits that Joe made, the 121.45 and the 25.20. And then this $414, this is what we took in for membership renewals and 1 new member, and then also t-shirt that we took money in for at the last club meeting. So here's the 4 club t-shirts, or sorry, polo shirts at $164 and $250 for renewals, new members. We had 3 checks that cleared, 1 to Allendale Church of Christ with the $300 donation. It looks like I've got it's Allendale 2 L's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll correct that. 844 for the prize ticket roll that you ran out and purchased for us. And then reimbursement to Scott for club snacks. So that's what we took in and what we paid. So we started out the month with $20,000, $20,112.52, and ended with $20,368.58. As you guys might remember, there was 1 voided check, which would explain this out of sequence. And because I miswrote it, and so I marked it out as void. And then also there was another check in there that or a couple other checks from last month that had already cleared. So those are on last month's report. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm tired. On call is kicking my butt this week. So.
Picked mine last week.
Yeah.
I can relate.
And I will have it again next week. So. All right. Any questions about our treasurer's report?
Nope. Do you have anything else that you need to cover while you've got the mic?
Not that I know of. No. I'm sure something will come to mind, but I think I've got it all covered. All right. Okay, back to you.
Good deal. All right, so did you, and because I know if you're checking the PO box, have you gotten anything new from Andrew Dandridge, Jim, this month?
Is that the gentleman that from Cordova that sent his membership and then it was returned to him?
Return, yeah.
Yes. So I
Okay,
did.
so we did get it.
So he is. Yeah, he is. We have his application to review tonight,
Okay.
and he sent me the envelope. Where is it here? Yeah. So you're not gonna be able to see it.
Okay.
He did forward the envelope that has the return to sender on it, and it has our exact address.
Okay.
So I don't know why, but he had folded it up and stuck it in with his application and payment
Okay.
and put it in another envelope.
All right. Well, I'm going to email him. So that was on the list or on the agenda because I was going to bring it up. And I know we hear about issues from time to time, and especially over the last few years. But he had emailed very concerned with multiple email addresses. I think like through the website form, he emailed directly to our Delta Club Gmail, and then he emailed me, all very concerned that we needed to update that address on the website. And of course, I talked him through it a little bit and encouraged him to try again and all that. So I'm glad that he did, and I'll reach out to him and let him know tonight that we
both
did
of these
get
were
it.
mailed. Yeah, these were both mailed to the exact same address.
Wow.
So.
And I know, I know we hear horror stories every now and then, but I guess I don't know. I mean, the same thing that we've done in the past, just encourage everybody to try again and let us know if they have any issues. So if we need to bring it up eventually, we can. Of course, I don't know that anything would be done about it, but I'm glad it.
I'm sure
that the second time.
I'm sure if I went to the counter at the post office and showed them this, they'd be like, "Sorry."
Yeah.
Too bad, so sad. I'd be glad that it came through the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not real.
Bartlett isn't the greatest post
Understandable.
office.
No. I think I told y'all that the last time I went in there, they had no stamps. The machine that you can purchase stamps from, where has a scale and all that, it had a sign on it that it was out of the I guess whatever the roll of tape that they use, and they didn't have any stamps for sale at the counter. They had signs up all over the post office, like down each hallway for the post office boxes, on the front door, on the windows, saying no postage available to go to the Austin P post office. So I don't know what the deal is, but post office is struggling. All right, that's all I had.
All right. Okay, so I want to review this pretty quick since it was brought up at another meeting. Because some other stuff that we'll talk about is kind of dependent upon this. So that monthly to-do list that we've got, all right, so I wanted to bring this up because I think we've got this on our email Google Drive, which is not, I know you have to have the login for that, but we covered this a couple of years ago, and so I just want to throw this out there to see if we need to change anything around, because I think this was done before COVID. So a lot of stuff could be different. So like one thing I was thinking, since we don't participate in the March for Dimes event anymore, to get rid of that. But then Paul asked about the W4M event, the that special event that we did during the bicentennial for Memphis a couple of years ago. And at the time we had talked about trying to do something every year. Personally, I think it might be a minute before we get to do something like that again. But I don't know, we could leave it on here where we just keep checking to see if we want to do something that year, or if y'all think that it's just worth just kind of scrapping that for several years, we can do that. But I don't know, any thoughts on anything we can change or delete?
Delete the March of Dimes.
Joe, does let's see, and we could talk about this now. So does March still seem like a good time to try to reserve the bus for Huntsville if we're going to do that, or do you think we can bump that back
No,
any?
I would still do it about then. If nothing else, get
Okay.
pricing,
Okay.
because you got to get the pricing to where if you start collecting money in May, you can't bump it further than at the furthest is April
Okay.
to have a budget for the, for the bus trip. So March is fine. I mean, all of this is just a checklist, is a reminder to,
yeah.
of things to possibly do. We don't have to do them.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything that seems like we need to discuss it earlier than we've got?
I'd say in August, volunteers for the MS 150.
No, I'm sorry. Have I been under a rock? This is the first I've ever seen this document.
It might have been before you were here, because I mean this literally, I know I was secretary, so it was at least 2 or 3 years ago, but I think even then it may have been like the first year or two I was doing that. So it might be like 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, okay. Right.
And so I had only had it primarily where I was using it kind of as secretary, where we were every now and then we talk about it in the meetings, and I was trying to get something that was just a good rule of thumb. So if we had high turnover, something would be here as a guide to be like, oh, well, I didn't realize we need to start planning for Huntsville, this many months in advance. So not locking them into anything, but just to help as a guideline.
Gotcha.
You might put in June, renew domain name.
Yeah, that works.
I think you could say that about whenever it is that we're supposed to renew the
GoDaddy.
Yeah, the GoDaddy, and
website.
then
Yeah, I think that was like in January that we did that, or December or January. Let me see.
and there seems like there's one other one that we domain, GoDaddy, and
When's the club insurance need to be renewed?
Okay, so November is when I paid Bob Votter for the GoDaddy, or I reimbursed him because it's still coming to him.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Joe. What was the other one you asked about?
Insurance.
Insurance. Equipment insurance is September.
so is that Delta, is that register.com or is that deltaclub.org? Which
Deltaclub.org is the GoDaddy renewal.
Okay, and then you got delta-w4bs at register.com.
I don't know anything about that address.
So which one is the June? Is that the register or is that the GoDaddy?
I'm sorry, that's
That's the domain name.
that's the deltaclub.org. So that, I'm
Okay.
sorry, so yeah, so in November is the renewal for the GoDaddy website. So it's the deltaclub.org website, but that's paid for separately from the domain name.
Okay. That's right.
So that's just the hosting charge.
Right, November. Yeah, that's good to get this stuff on here too.
Yeah.
All right, so. Now wait, no, GoDaddy.
So, club liability, because I didn't know about that and it hadn't been paid for a number of years. That cleared in January, but it was paid in December. So I'd say December, we want to
Club
make sure we pay
liability
club
insurance.
liability insurance. Yes.
Do we want to get them to
Like-
see if they can put them at the same dates or same month of?
I can
Come up
try
and-
to I can try to pay it in October with the equipment insurance and see if it'll just push it out. Yeah, I mean, I would
Yeah.
prefer to do them both at the same time.
Yeah,
So I think that we still need to put a question mark around this register.com. What Delta, well, I'm not sure what we're doing with that.
Okay.
Probably need to ask Mr. Bob about that.
This is just a little minor thing, but if you wouldn't mind putting something in October, just to make sure I remember to renew the club license.
renew W4BS.
Yep,
How often
For
does
10
that have to be?
years.
just to make sure I don't forget, so.
Okay. I was going to ask, is that a 10-year renewal?
Yes.
And is that-
It's not due until December, but I can do it, I believe, in October.
You can do it 90 days ahead of time.
And does that also require $35?
Yes.
Okay.
What about the IRS reporting? For
Yeah,
state
so-
and IRS.
So federal is this month.
March. Okay. Are we paying that or just filing paperwork
That-
or?
For federal, there's no charge.
File federal
Yeah, it's
IRS report.
like a 990 postcard or something like that. I'll you know what,
Okay.
I'll see if I can dig that up. I gotta go through papers from last year.
And the
And
state one
then-
is due when?
That is due before June. So I think I was doing that in April, actually. Yes.
Why don't you do
Okay.
it both at the
Yep.
same time?
Yeah, so the Tennessee annual report and filing is, yeah, it's April.
So what would that be? File state?
Annual report.
Okay.
Do we have anything in here about when we give the church their donation?
November, discuss it.
Okay,
And
board
I think,
meeting.
and then I think typically we were sending them something in February.
That's good. Yes.
How, just out of curiosity, how did we come to use Ellendale Church for our meetings? Was there
David Pace was a member
member?
at one time, years and years ago.
okay, that's what I was wondering.
He's no longer a member.
Okay.
Why don't we do in January, send Ellendale donation?
Sure, we can move to January.
Do we put something in here about review the bylaws or something like that?
I mean, we could.
We have bylaws?
They're on the website
Hardy
now. You just
har
stole
har.
my thunder.
Oh,
I
please.
know, I know, I missed a couple of the sessions.
Be like our license, maybe in 10 years.
Oh, for sure. Well, we did a pretty significant overhaul with it, you know, like, I don't know, we covered a lot. But we could.
We don't want it to die like it did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a pretty significant lift on that.
Yeah. It was only about 20 years, 25.
Oh,
Well, they stood the test of time.
yeah, that's
If
true.
you want to put
Yes.
something in December for the post office box,
We don't
Okay.
have anything to do in July.
See, that's what I was looking at. So if we want to put just a little blurb that we you know, maybe glance over it. July to me seems like it'd be okay because then it's the summer, and then it's
Yep.
After field day, but before. I mean, we don't have to, but I don't know. Do y'all think that's fine to?
We
Not
can,
a
we can
bad
always
idea
bring
for
it up
all of
and
us.
say pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey
Okay.
guys, I'm gonna have to step out. I'm on call, but I'm on call all the time, but I just got a call or text. So I'm gonna
Okay.
have to stick with it and go. Let me know if you need anything table wise and snack wise. Just send me an email. And I just want to cut out here and let you be aware of it. So thanks.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Scott.
All right. Bye.
yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, I'll unless y'all see anything else we need to add, I can email this to everybody. And if you see anything, again, it's not a binding document or anything, but I don't know. For me, it helped, and it helps now being able to reference stuff to know, you know, what to put on the agenda and everything. So, all right. But for now, sound good.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
And where is that document kept?
So right now it's just, I guess a long time ago, I think I sent it out to whoever was on the board at that time, but it'll be in your email, tonight for sure, if not here pretty soon. And then I think I had a copy of it on like the Google Drive for the club email maybe. But I'd have to go and look, but not everybody, unless that's open, not everybody has access to that.
Is that something you might want to put on the BOD page of the website, or is that you just want that to stay within
No,
the
that's
BOD?
just a working paper
Yeah.
for the board.
Yeah, because I would hate for somebody to look at it and say, why didn't you do this or that or something?
I got you.
When it's kind of more of a guideline, but I'll email it to everybody tonight. And if you can think of anything for your respective position that needs to go on there, you know, because again, I mean, I think, you know, we've all been here long enough I know Paul's new and Terry's new, but I mean, most everybody else at least has a year, if not way more, in the position. And so we kind of know what we're supposed to do, but this would help, you know, down the line.
Well, those are the major milestones, if you will, throughout the year.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
you know, they're not necessarily our monthly to-do list or delivery list. It's more of, these are milestones for the club.
Yeah.
Only gap I could think of is there something in the bylaws that we say that we're going to do? I mean, that might be a good, you know, just a key off of that, you know, because there are some things that are called out in the bylaws that we're supposed to do. I think that we got them all, but we wouldn't hurt maybe to look through that and just make sure we didn't leave anything out.
Okay. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's what I was adding in, because again, this was done before the bylaw review, and so we didn't have in, you know, with the new bylaws, I just added
Right.
in, you know, to do the draft in December for the budget, and then we had to
Right.
vote on it in January, February. So, like, yeah, that's a good point. Make sure that's in there. So. All right, so related to this, all right, so whether we want to have the W4M special event or not, personally, I don't feel like I can take on much more than some of the things we're going to talk about later, but I don't know. Do y'all think we should try to do a special event this year or skip it and put it off at least another year?
So
Skip
what
it.
exactly is that?
So I think it was 2018. It was Memphis's bicentennial. And so we went downtown at, I guess, what was the visitor center, and set up and did like a mini field day, basically. We took on a special call sign, W4M Whiskey for Mike. And then we all went downtown, or a lot of us did, and just kind of did something fun. Sent out some QSL cards and stuff to those who we contacted and everything. I mean, well, they weren't cards, but they were like certificates. And so I don't know. At the time, it went over really well. There was a lot of work leading up to it, though, and so it seemed like it would be fun to have again. But we did say that we would still kind of discuss it, and then that was right before COVID and everything kind of kicked into the gear. So just a special event that kind of ties us into the history of the city of Memphis.
Let's skip it.
Yeah,
Any
I thought it
objection
was.
to
I thought it
skipping it
was
another
just.
year?
No, I have no objection. I knew that it was just for the bicentennial. I never thought that it would be something that it would, be every year event.
I mean, if
I
we
mean,
want
what-
to do
what
something,
would
we
we-
can do POTA, or we can do other special events. It doesn't, we can request any special call sign we want as long as it's available
Yeah.
and all of that. But,
Yeah. So I don't know. So I'd say let's skip it, and we can put it off another year, unless we want to put the axe to it this year. But I would say at least let's skip it. So. All right. We had on the list, as far as I know, we've not done anything, at least in the past several years. But ARRL Kids Day is in June, I think. It's the weekend or the Saturday before field day, if I'm thinking correctly. Do we want to try to do anything for that this year?
If it's the weekend before field day, I'd kind of say no, because a lot of us will be preparing for field day.
Yeah. That's what I would think. I mean, it might be nice if we, get a few more involved for stuff down the road to try to add in, but yeah, I don't personally this year. I'd rather focus on field day. Is there any objection to just doing or to skipping that then as well? All right.
skip it.
Good deal. Field day. Field day, we are officially committed to participate again. So I know different people are going to be asked to get involved again in their respective areas, but I did go on and let, oh gosh,
Fred,
thank you. I did let Fred know. He reached out and asked if we were interested in going in again to help out. So I told him that we were. So I'm sure we've got time to, I know, more stuff will come up later, but I wanted to let y'all know that that conversation has started. Huntsville Hamfest is it's on August 19th. So I know that this really is more directed at Joe since he's the one that handles it. But do we want to do a bus again with the club, or Joe, do you want to get together those numbers so we can start having those conversations?
yeah, I'll call Klein and see what a 56 and a 40 passenger bus. I guess we'll do the gamble again and go for a 40 passenger bus. And if we get more than 32 people to go, then we'll have to go to a 56, but if we go past 35, that's usually about the break point for the 40 versus the 56 passenger bus anyway.
Yeah. All right, well, sounds good.
What was the date on that? The 19th?
August 19th.
Hoping I'm not on call that weekend, because I had a blast last year.
Third weekend in August, third full weekend in August.
All right. So this was on the list back in December. We talked about bringing this up again in March, and if they just now deposited the check, I don't have it pulled up, but if they just deposited the check last month, do we still want to talk about doing an additional possible church donation this month, or do we want to wait about 1 or 2 months?
Hold off.
And then, okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, well, I'll bring that up later. All right, and then the only other big thing I had, so that's why I forwarded the email. So are all of you signed up for the ARRL Tennessee section update emails?
Yes.
Yep.
If you're an ARRL member, you get it.
Okay. All right, so I saw this on February 28th. So vote a volunteer on the air, and I'm not going to go into all of it, but it's the event that they're trying to do this year to get more people involved on the air and just in general. And so there's more information on the site, but they would use Logbook of the World. But anyway, so I saw right here that it's going to be in Tennessee, March 22nd through 28th. And as far as I know, we hadn't heard anything yet. And so I went on and sent David an email, and that's what I forwarded back, because he went on and signed us up. And if I need to tell him that we aren't interested in doing that, then I can, but I do think we'd have enough people who might be interested, unless you guys really think we won't. And it's not that long of a time slot. It's from 5 p.m. Central Time on March 23rd until Friday at 8 a.m. And so I don't mind helping to keep track of who all we would want to who all we would want to assign that during certain time slots. I am not that knowledgeable about Logbook of the World, so if anybody had questions, I would not be in a great spot to answer that many questions on that. But I don't know. Do you guys think, is this something that we want to push over the next few weeks to let folks know they can sign up for this? Because it sounds like from that email, we could do like a mini field day type event and set up somewhere, or I thought it would be fine just seeing if you know, if folks just wanted to call from their homes. But I don't know, we've had enough people join, and I don't know, Joe, if it'll help out with the tech class or not. If we do want to have something that we can invite new members to, like up at the church or at a park somewhere or something. What do y'all think?
I don't think the tech class, I'm not, that excited about doing it for a tech class.
Okay.
Some people would probably be real excited about using W1AW stroke 4. It just so happened in 2005, we were the first to go W1AW stroke 5 mobile, going down to taking the Katrina toys down to Gulfport. And we did operate W1AW stroke 4 portable when we were doing the loadout.
Pretty cool.
I have a feeling NA4S Joe might be willing to do it. I'm not sure who else, but I think he might. I'm trying to think of some other generals that would be interested in doing.
I can get a HF antenna back up in my backyard, then I might, but that's the only thing preventing me.
All right, so I guess do y'all think it's okay then that we promote this idea to the club?
See if anybody's interested. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'll bring it up at the meeting, and then I'll get it listed a little better, and Mike sends you something for Sparks. But I do think just for ease of operating, that for something kind of this short time frame, that we could just encourage people to sign up if they want to do that at home. And it sounds like, because a lot of it is overnight, that they're not too worried about it if somebody's not on air at night. So I doubt that we'd really have to cover that much anyway. But I don't know. I guess the question is, would I be wrong in thinking that we can do this from home, or do we want to try to do a group event somewhere?
Let's do it from home.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weeknight. I'd do it from home.
Okay.
That's what I would think too.
All right. Good deal. Let's see. I think that's everything I had. So, Joe, do you want to go on and start with yours?
You calling me?
Yeah, Joe, if you've got an update on your training and
Okay,
all that.
training, extra class, we've gotten 3 licensed, 2 up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and 1 in Chattanooga. I was not able to do the testing on the 25th because I had COVID. And so the 2 that actually were in Memphis, that were wanting to do it are probably going to do it I know one's going to do it on the 14th. And the second one will probably do it on the 14th. One gentleman was going to be out of town and is going to be out of town for another month or so to where he won't be able to test until this summer probably. And then one gentleman will test probably a week from 2 weeks from yesterday at Hernando. So that's the extra class. And then we've got the tech class started. We had 13 people sign up. We had 10 people on it last night. I had one drop out. Another joined yesterday during the day, but she didn't show up. So after missing two classes, I'm not going to let her continue on. If she didn't have enough, I talked to her on the phone about it, and she just didn't. I don't know why she didn't show up, because I said, it's going to take some commitment. And then one other person this is the second time or third time around, and I told her today that she just should spend the time doing study sample testing rather than spending time going to taking the class. And I haven't heard back from her. And then one other person has missed two classes to where I'm going to just deregister them. I'm sort of getting fed up with people that say they're going to come, and the one person that said that missed last week said they were going to be late last night and didn't show up at all. When they start missing one, I'm going to deregister them because it just doesn't work out. I've seen that. So now I've rambled on but I guess after so many years, I know what's going to happen, and there's no sense in them continuing on or taking up a class or wasting time trying to get in when they're coming in late to a class. Because on Zoom, you got to admit them, and I might not be looking at the admit button every second of the night.
Yeah.
So anyway, it looks like we got 10 in the class, which is pretty good.
Hey, Joe, just an observation, but this present class seems more disinterested than any other class that I've been a part of. Maybe that's just me, but that was just my perception last night that, they didn't really ask any questions, didn't say anything. They just weren't very active.
There was some questions in the previous week.
Okay.
So
I said that was just my perception. I just,
yeah. Zoom is a different story. I wish we can get back to having in person. The camaraderie certainly gets better when it's in person. Also, Free Fest is coming up. Rick will have tickets at Free Fest. We've sent an email to David Norris to send it out to the division. There is going to be a situation where somebody cannot come to the Ham Fest. They can send a check to either Rick Tillman or myself, and we'll generate tickets for them and put them in the barrel like we did in 2020. I thought the email would have gone out in last Friday's Delta Division email, but it didn't. And I sent David an email and hadn't heard back from him, so I'm going to have to give him a call and find out what happened, because it's getting a little bit late mailing checks in to us. But anyway.
Is that just for the last drawing of the day?
Yes, for the grand prize. There's 8 grand prizes.
Okay.
Let's see what else. I think that's it.
As usual, will there be testing at Free Fest?
Yes, from 9 to 11.
Okay.
Bob Valter is is home now. He was in the hospital, had foot surgery, ankle surgery. He broke it, fell down and broke it. And he said he thought he could probably administer it. If not, I would get somebody to administer it, but he's pretty sure he can do it. He's getting around. It's just that he can't put pressure on the foot, but he's got a walker and a wheelchair. That he has a walker where he puts a knee in to keep that foot off the ground. And he has a wheelchair also, so he should be able to administer it. We will need to get some VE help.
I'm glad to hear he's home. John,
Okay, I thought Carolyn did a fantastic job on her presentation last month. Hopefully we have some interest in CW. I know I am. I just time is kind of the problem for me right now. But having said that, we have Skywarn training coming up on the 28th. And so on the 14th, I've invited the National Weather Service to come and speak. And Corey Chastleton has agreed to do so. I'm not sure what the name of the actual presentation will be, but I'm hoping this will be kind of threefold, kind of plug Skywarn, emphasize the importance that ham radio still plays in with the National Weather Service, and hopefully recruit some reliable National Weather Service liaisons. So I talked to him on the phone last week, and so that's kind of what we got planned.
What's his last name again, John?
Chastleton, Chaskelson.
Can you email that to me?
Yeah.
Does
Put
he
it
have
in
a
the
call
chat.
sign?
It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Put it in the chat.
Does he have a call sign? Is he a
I
man?
believe he is. But he's one of the meteorologists there, and he's actually off that day, but recognized the need to get in front of the local ham radio community and start interfacing with us a little more.
Sounds great.
So that's what I have up my sleeve. And then looking to future meetings, I want to try to get somebody to do something on Parks on the Air. I kind of got a loose commitment from AJ4GY, Jeff Krause. But he's like, once baseball season starts, all bets are off. But we have some other members that know a lot about it that could do a good presentation, I'm sure. So I may reach out to them. Also looking at having David Norris speak, Delta Division President. May have to do that via Zoom if that's okay, but just kind of looking ahead a little bit.
Sounds like some good stuff.
Trying to stay
Yep.
ahead of it.
John,
Yep.
David is Delta Division Director.
Director, I'm sorry.
Do you want me to put this? You want to send me something about Skywarn on the 28th? Do we want to put that in the announcements, John? Or
Sure, absolutely. That would be great.
Can you send me a blurb on that, please?
Sure, I will.
With the
I've got a,
contact information and everything?
yeah, I've got a graphic that the National Weather Service prepared that I can.
Okay, yeah, I
send
can
you
put
there.
that in there, or, we can send it with Sparks, maybe. I don't know, but we could probably support something like that.
Okay, will do.
Is there
Um,
anything to do in advance for that? Any paperwork or anything, or do you just show up?
For Skywarn training, you show up, there'll be some forms that you have to fill out on site. Basically it's like your name, call sign, email, contact info, and what your availability is as a spotter. But that's really it. It takes like 5 minutes to fill out the form, and
Okay.
and then they've got some pamphlets, some handouts with different cloud formations, things like that, spotter criteria that they'll give you. And then the presentation itself's like 2 hours for the actual Skywarn training, but it's good stuff. And I haven't heard anything about the advanced Skywarn training yet either. This is just the basic. They do offer an advanced. Historically, they've typically done that via YouTube. So
this will be in person.
yes, this will be in person at Lord of Life Lutheran Church.
Is that the one off Poplar Pike that they used to do that?
Yes, sure is.
You said 28th of March.
I believe so. I'll double
Okay.
check that.
I was just looking at
Yeah.
the National Weather Service website, and I didn't see that listed. So I didn't know if that was just for us or if, I see Lauderdale
Oh, it's for
County,
everybody.
Yeah,
Crockett.
it's
Okay. They just haven't updated their website then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Todd
and
was
this is-
pressing me to make sure it was good. And I sent it to him and said it was good.
yeah, he sent out the graphic for it. They are in severe weather season right now, so I know some of the stuff gets canceled last minute. If they're anticipating needing all their meteorologists on site there. But hopefully the weather will stay good and they will not have to cancel.
Good deal.
Yeah, it's 7 to 9, Tuesday, March 28th, Lord of Life Lutheran Church, 6865 Poplar Pike, Memphis, Tennessee, 38119.
So you said you've already got a picture or whatever graphic for it. You're muted.
Yeah, I'm about to send it to Mike right now.
Well, you send it to me if it's okay. If you want to send it to me, I can put that up on our Facebook page too.
Okay.
If you want to do that, I don't
Corey's,
mind posting it.
Corey's call sign is N0 Victor Quebec Romeo.
Got it. N0 Victor Quebec Romeo.
Correct.
John, you say he's a meteorologist?
Yes.
Okay. Barry.
This will be short and quick. Everything seems to be working good right now, so a few weeks ago I did go visit the 8-2 site and everything seems to be fine. There's no construction of any kind going on out there, so and I was still able to get in, so that was the main thing. But other than that, everything's good. Not spending
Barry, it was
money yet.
scratchy last night.
Well, here we go again then.
I've got one other thing.
Okay.
If we get the battery from John at Ham Source, I'd like to give him a free ad in Sparks.
Yep,
Sounds good with me.
I think that
Y'all-
sounds good. Do we need to vote on that, or is that you want to just send it over, Mr. Joe, and I can put it in there?
I mean, you're the director of publications, so I would think, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, that it would fall with you, and unless we had an objection, but
Well, we just, I guess, need to vote on it to be free.
okay, we can. So
I
is
so
that,
move.
all right, so Joe made a motion to waive the publication fee for that ad. Is there a second?
I second.
John seconded. I saw his hand before I heard you. All in favor,
Okay.
say aye. Or I'm sorry.
Aye.
just-
I,
Okay. All opposed, no.
Ham
All right,
Source is the name of the
Passes.
company.
Do you have a business card or something like that? You could, that,
He's
you know,
supposed to
that's
be
what
sending
we,
one with the
Okay.
battery.
okay. All right, sounds good. Thank you. I can scan it or whatever, and then we can put it in there with the Chick-fil-A and the other one.
Hey, guys, I gotta step away just for a moment. I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's see. All right, so anything else for you, Barry?
Nope, I'm done.
Short and sweet. Mike?
So I did update the board of directors bio page last month, early this month, whenever that was, and I did add the bylaws to the membership page. So I think I'm kind of caught up on the website. I know that you and I need to work together to try to do the PayPal thing. So if let's work together to see if we can figure out a Tuesday night or something like that. I guess right now my third Tuesday night is open as far as I know. So if you want, because now we have the fourth Tuesday night is taken up. So
I think
and there
that should
was
be good.
was there something else that you had put on the checklist that we need to discuss tonight, or we
Look.
need to discuss?
Cool. And I, in case you haven't seen it, I just emailed that to everybody. Let's see, field day. We'll discuss more field day next week. Bus has been started for high school. We're not doing that. Oh, the Zoom account, it should come out any day now. I think it's this weekend that I should get charged on that. And then so I'll get that receipt when it happens to Jim. And then I guess Jim, if you're good on the federal IRS report. So other than that, yeah, we're good on the checklist unless you had something you were that we need to add on there for this month.
I don't have anything.
I'll be working on Sparks this week. So, just if everyone could send their stuff over, and I'll put it in there and get it to Mr. Joe as early as possible.
Sounds good.
And if anyone has any announcements, please send them over as well.
Okay.
So I did hear that the meeting is going to be in person, no Zoom, and we've already got the the program, I've already got that. And then, you know, we got the Sky Warn, and Mary Jean, you said you were going to send a few things over as well. Plus you've already sent a few things in email for me to include in announcements as well. So I'll make sure all of those are included.
And
Okay.
there will be testing.
Okay. We'll keep that in there. Thank you.
You might, I don't know if you want to put in that I'm going to be coordinating it this month.
Okay. You would just say temporarily coordinating?
Or coordinating this session.
Okay.
Hey, just real quick, I've had kind of an idea for not necessarily a program, but something to maybe start back up doing again. David Campbell, KD4NOQ, used to I remember him talking to me one time about a segment they did called Show Your Shack, and it was basically where people would just show pictures and do a little blurb and explain what they have in their shack and how they've got things connected and whatnot. And with some of the new hams, I didn't know if that might be a good idea to maybe bring that segment back. You know, it doesn't have to be long-winded or anything, but maybe we could find volunteers that kind of want to show off their stuff. I know, you know, there's a lot of hams that are probably pretty proud of what they have and all the work that they've put into their shacks that
John,
might be worthwhile sharing.
MARA did it, and there were people very reluctant to do it because the shack was messy and all of that.
That would be my reluctance for mine personally, but
So I'm just saying, you know, you know, if you get several people, then yeah, I think we can do it, but I think we need to get volunteers first before we publicize it.
okay. And it doesn't have to be anything elaborate either. I know some people
Yeah.
would be like, well, all I have is an HT and a mobile. Well, you know, whatever, you know, it's just trying to give new hams different ideas, different approaches, you know, things like that. So, well, I'll keep that on the back burner then and see if I can't solicit some folks that would be interested in doing that.
Another one might be showing their external antennas or the antenna in the attics.
Okay. Yeah, I know several people would like to brag about their antennas, so
Yeah.
yeah, we might do something like that. So just
Yeah,
throwing that
we,
out there.
I mean, are you thinking about doing that where you get a couple people to do it like at one time during one program, or do you think that might be something like where you're thinking maybe 2 or 3 pictures and like a 5-minute explanation?
I was thinking more like a 5-minute blurb,
Yeah.
like at each monthly meeting, you know, just kind of like a segment, just a little, you know, hey, on this month's Show Your Antenna, we've got Tom, Alpha Echo Mike, that, you know, I'm just
I mean,
throwing
that's,
it
I
out
think
as an
it'd be cool.
example. You know, and they
Um,
can briefly explain the benefits, drawbacks to that particular antenna, and maybe help people, the newer hams, decide what might work best for their situation.
Yeah. Maybe, I mean, yeah, maybe you could do that where it's a blurb and then call the whole thing Show Your Shack, and it could be antenna, it could be overall, it could be, you know, like you said, maybe just a HT or maybe something more where somebody could come and, you know, if they think they have a problem with maybe their antenna's not reaching out or something, maybe they could come and do a 5-minute blurb. I don't know. Or maybe if somebody has something to brag about.
Right.
I don't know. We could easily make room for that. That'd be fun. It gets people engaged, and maybe it'll kind of hook them in a little bit more.
That's what I'm trying to think is ways of connecting people that have things that they're proud of, with people with the newer ham that has no clue what they're, you know, what they want to do. I saw that, Paul.
Yeah.
Because I know what it was like.
I
when
got my Moby
started.
link here. I haven't figured out how to make it work yet.
What was that?
I got my Moby link here and I
Oh.
haven't figured out how to make it work yet.
Oh yeah, I've got mine right here.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Well, yeah,
I saw the
charge
like
the
fork
the
battery
idea.
first.
I think like Joe said, maybe, maybe before it gets started, maybe have like a handful lined up or something, but
Right.
we could absolutely do that in a meeting, in my opinion.
Just trying to think of something new and fresh, or I guess it's actually recycling, because like I said, I heard it from Dave Campbell a long time ago. So, well, I guess 5 years isn't a long time ago, but
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a lot. It's been a lot in the past 5 years. So, but no, good idea. Paul?
Just had renewals and new members applications this month. I can run through the list real quick. There were 13 renewals and 1 new. The renewals were James and Becky Butler, that's family membership. Andrew Dandridge, we talked about earlier. Bill Flanagan, Cynthia and Dennis Foster, family membership. Lynn Grice, Rob Harris, Alan Prophet, John Reiners, John.
it's not him.
That background check was looking a little sketchy.
Yeah.
Ken Welch, Wentworth, and that was the renewals. And then Ryan Meckelfresh is the new member. So I move we accept these.
All right. So we've got a motion to accept the membership applications. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. So Joe, I saw Joe's hand. He's seconding the motion. Is there any discussion on this? All right. All in favor, say aye. Or raise your
Aye.
hand. All right. All opposed, likewise. All right. The motion carries unanimously.
That's all I had.
Okay. All right. Well, does anybody else have anything else we need to discuss tonight?
Good meeting.
All right. Well, all right. Well, since we don't have anything else, if there's no objection, we will be adjourned at 8:05.
Right,
Thanks,
check it out,
everybody.
Delta Net.
All right. Thanks, folks.
Yeah.